a free night stay at any Red Roof Inn around the country. All you have to do is listen for Larry and Robin to tell you to call. So tune in and win from WOCA and Red Roof Inn.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We live in an area where there are a lot of retired people living in our area, which is kind of mixed. We've got the college kids at the university, and we got the retirees, right?
Yes.
If you speak to the retirees, it's interesting to hear them talk about how they are now doing what they've always wanted to do their whole lives, whether it's painting or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They've got something they've always wanted to do their whole lives. And when you speak to the young people in the college, they'll say, well, what I want to do is I want to do this, but I want to make sure I have enough time to do, and then they'll tell you painting or something.
All right.
So you put the two together. You say, well, what happens to us in between those two times of our lives? We've got this great ambition to, all right, I know I need to make a little money, but you know what? What I really want to do is this. Sheri Riley has written a book that sort of kind of talks about that. It's called Exponential Living. Stop spending 100% of your time on 10% of who you are. She has been on everything. She has helped everybody. Toni Braxton is on the list. Usher, I think, did the forward to the book, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Yep. It says it right there. She's worked with Coca-Cola, Converse, everybody. You name it. And such an honor to have her on our show. Sheri Riley. Good morning, Sheri.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good. Are you doing what you always wanted to do with your life?
I am. I didn't always know it was going to look like this, but I've always had some version of this.
That's an interesting answer, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, we know a guy who wanted to be an actor, and now he works doing public presentations for some kind of a company. Mm-hmm. But his acting skills are actually being used. Even though he's not in movies or plays, he's a public speaker. So I said, well, the gift is being used, your gift of talking. Yeah,
well, I wanted to be a manager. I thought I would always be a manager. I wanted to manage the biggest artist in the world. That was my goal.
A recording artist.
Yeah, artists and actors. Wow. I wanted to manage artists and actors. I wanted to have like a company where I had like 3 to 4 like the Tom Cruises of the world. So like imagine Beyonce, Usher, Tom Cruise, and Jennifer Lawrence would be the artists. That's what I envisioned, right?
Yeah.
So when I say a variation, because now instead of managing just their career as a life strategist, I'm managing peoplepeople's entire lives. So I guess it's some variation of it.
So does having a manager make their lives easier? In that, you know what I mean? Where they can do things. And what does it do to the manager? I guess the manager must like doing that. So, but I mean, how do we take, because we all have to have jobs, and it might not be what we want to do with our lives. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. It's what we can do is first we got to really find out what the core of who we are and what we really want to do. And many times we'll just pursue money. Oh, I just got to get a job to make money, versus really, what do I want to do? Who am I really? And then find something that complements who we are that allows us to make money.
I love that.
So we kind of go about it. We go about it the opposite, right? We go find what we want to do, and then we figure out how we live with it, versus how do we want to live? Who are we? And now let's go find something that complements that provides us an income.
Have you had that conversation with different age groups? I'm just curious what their response is. Like if you speak to a high school student as opposed to somebody who may be in his or her 30s?
You know what? Millennials, I have that conversation with people in their 40s and then people in their 50s and 60s. And it's interesting because each group is very receptive to it, because millennials are kind of in this place where I don't want to work 100 hours a week. Like I want to I want to find out who I am, make a little money in the midst of it, and have a good life. And those that are in their 40s and 50s are like, man, you know what? I've been doing this money thing for a long time, and all it's gotten me is a whole lot of money, and what else is there? Like, I want more. I want to, really enjoy life more. So the spectrum really is very receptive to the message as a whole. Isn't
it funny sometimes how some of the people who you think are the least successful are actually the most happy. And I'm not saying you have to be poor to be happy. I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to say. But sometimes you'll find people like that, and the opposite too. People who you think would be very happy and they're not.
Yes, and that's what I've discovered. Being able to work with some of the most influential people in the world and people that have been accomplished in their careers and have great financial success. What I have found consistently, though, is money will never buy peace, and it will never give you clarity. And what we have to really do is pursue the peace and the clarity first. Then we can truly enjoy the fruits of our labor. But when we go after the fruits of our labor, a lot of times we end up, and we're just empty. We just, we have the commas and the zeros of the titles, but we're not happy.
Yeah.
And it's okay to pursue the peace first.
And that's where you bring up your spiritual center.
Yes. It definitely allows us to come into a heightened sense of awareness of who we are. Like in Principle 2, when I say healthy living is more than just a diet, it is about the relationship with, our God or our center, and then the relationship with ourselves, and then the relationship with others. And that is so critical.
Can you imagine if we were all just a bunch of nuts and like you, and you look over at one of the nuts and he says I'm going to become an oak tree because I'm an acorn, and you go, oh, come on, you got big dreams, man.
I love that, Larry.
Right?
I love that.
She's going to use that now.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna give him all the credit, but I'm gonna use that.
But in a way, that's kind of what we are, right? If you believe if you believe the nut who tells you can never be an oak tree, then maybe you won't be one. But if you just say, you know what, I just feel like growing. I just feel like becoming an oak tree.
Oh, my God. I have to use that. That is absolutely brilliant. I love it. It says so much.
Well, when people have relationships, you have to all be on the same page. One person might be wanting to do something else, and then the next person might be wanting to do something totally different. But you still have to support each other, no matter what it is that you choose to do.
Yes, very, very true. And supporting other people doesn't take anything away from you. Which, with Principle 4, when I say, have a servant's heart and a giving spirit, really what I'm saying is the more you are there for others, the more you support others, the more you give, you at the end of the day end up receiving more. Like you receive more than you could ever give. Yeah, and that's the core of that principle.
This is a brilliant message, and I can see this message going, like you said, to every age group. I was going to say to the young people, but the truth is, somebody who's been working all their lives is ready to retire. Come on, it's not too late. You can still live your life. Exponential living. Stop spending 100% of your time on 10% of who you are. Sheri Riley, what an awesome book you've written. How'd you get Usher to do the opening? Wow.
Well, I've known him since he was 15 years old.
Really?
And Exponential. Yeah, it really. Our journey is kind of the heart and soul of Exponential Living. Because when I resigned from LaFace, I chose not to work with him, and really not knowing it at the time. But it was really kind of the birth of Exponential Living, and what I was able to be for him as a life strategist through his transition from being a boy to a man.
Well, he definitely grew into an oak tree. He's one of the nuts. He's one of the nuts. You're a delight to talk to. Thank you. And beautiful. I just looked at your picture, by the way. You're awesome. Sheri, thank you for being on the air with us and for honoring us with your presence. You certainly have your credentials. And look at these credentials here.
I know.
Sheri,
huge.
thank you so much. The book is Exponential. Oh, I have a copy of the book. If you want it, call me. I'll give it to you. The rest of us have to go buy it. I know we're over time. Do you have a website, Sheri?
Yes, SheriRiley.com, SheriRiley, and that's Instagram and Twitter as well.
Okay, Kristen, I'm sorry we went over. Thank you, Sheri. We'll be right back.
62 to 66. Thursday, cloud and a shower followed by some afternoon sun, becoming breezy, high 78 to 82. Friday, mostly sunny and pleasant, but cooler, high 68 to 72. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun damaged ends and